happening. We'll give a little review on these Shinko 244 tires that I've been running. I've got them worn down to about half tread right now, and I feel like I can give a pretty decent review on them. Hit this little twisty right here. They just hook up on these twisties. They're good on the street. Anyways, I probably have, I'd say about 2,500 miles on them so far. And I'll tell you what, for the price, I bought these tires from Rocky Mountain ATV, and they were $103 shipped to my house. So you really can't beat that for the price for a front and rear tire. I was running a MT21 and D606 combo, and that combo did really well off-road, but on the road they kind of suffered. They weren't quite as good as these 244s on the road, like in the twisties and corners and stuff. They didn't handle quite as good, I thought. But as far as just straight cruising on the road, they did pretty well. They weren't like real rough or anything, I didn't think. So yeah, they did alright. But I just felt like they wore down for the price they are. I think the rear tire was about at least 100 for that 606, and the front was like 75 or something. It was kind of up there. You know, for the price, about $200 worth of tires, to me, you know, they just didn't last as long as I would have liked them to. And as far as off-road performance on those tires, the 606 and the 21, it was really good. Really good for a DOT street tire, you know. It's about the most aggressive tire you can get for the street. And I felt like they did really good off-road. And in the mud, you know, the 606, it'll cake up if you get in some really thick mud. But I mean, they do all right, you know. So anyways, I found that I was mainly riding more street than I was off-road, because around this area you have to ride about 50 miles to get to some, you know, decent off-roading. And most of the riding I do is on the street. So I want to get something that was a little more street friendly, and but I could still off-road it. So I picked up these Shinko 244s, and I was in between the Kenda 270s and the Shinko 244s, and I chose the 244s. And as far as off-road, they do pretty well off-road. They've handled everything I've thrown at them, and I'm not like Graham Jarvis or, you know, a hardcore enduro rider, I would say. But I mean, I do ride some pretty good trails, and they hook up pretty good for me. In the mud, they'll cake up, and in the sand, they're not great. But you can still ride in the sand just fine. You know, for a 50/50 tire, you can't expect to have a full-on knobby that's going to be good on the street. You're just not going to find that with any tire. You're going to have a give or take, you know. But as far as the perfect 50/50 tire, I feel like they do really well. I feel like they do extremely well, you know, for a 50/50 tire. Pull over here so we can take a look at them. Alright, here's the front. And they've got a little bit of cracking, but I don't really think that's nothing to worry about. It's just from the knobs flexing from riding riding hard in the mountains. And this is the back. So I'd say they're about half tread now. And I've got about 2,500 miles on them. And they're about half tread, so I feel like that's pretty good tread life. And I'll tell you, for the riding I do, I mean, it ain't nothing for me to put 500 miles on this bike in a weekend. So they don't do too bad. They hook up on the road good, and wanting to find maybe a little bit of off-road that I can kind of test them also. Like I say, around here in the city, I mean, there's just, you can't really find a whole lot of off-road. I could ride down in there, but there's so much traffic, I'm afraid a cop's gonna see me. Well, yeah, I've had these tires all over North Carolina, Western North Carolina, Tennessee, the Tail of the Dragon. I rode the Tail of the Dragon with these tires, and man, they hooked up pretty good. I mean, it's not going to be like a Supermoto or nothing, but for a 50/50 tire, I mean, they hooked up pretty well. I was impressed. But they are good tires for the price. I've seen some bad reviews where the knobs were chunking off of them, but I haven't experienced that. And for the money, I can get a set of these tires, front and rear, for the same price as a rear Dunlop 606. So, to me, I mean, it's worth it. I don't mind spending good money on good rubber, but at the same time, I'm not going to spend money if there's just no sense in it. And to me, I know people are probably going to give me some flack about it, but to me, these perform about as good as a 606 in the dirt. When they're new, they perform really well off-road. If you air them down just a little bit, on hard pack they're good, on rocks they're pretty good. I mean, it's not a bad tire for what they are, you know. So you just can't really beat them. They're not loud. That's another big thing, is they're not real loud. And they grip pretty good. Well, I'm in some pretty loose dirt right here. Better get out of here before they call the cops on me.